Let's go, guys. Welcome to another video on the Flow of Consciousness YouTube channel from Varkala beach here in India. It's very Indian. You hear the bells all the time, you hear the waves, you hear people having fun in the sand and in the sea. The funny thing is that actually Indians, they swim with like full-on clothes. They don't take bathing suits, so it's very interesting that you can very easily spot foreigners on the beach because they're wearing bathing suits and Indians are not. Anyways, this has been my experience in the Indian beaches so far. How have you been? How are you? How's your life? What are you up to? What are you currently focused on? What are the projects you're working with? I'm curious to hear from you guys how this is going. Feel free to leave a comment down below, and I want to start a little conversation and see how everybody is doing, right? But in this video I will also share a little bit about how I am currently doing, because it has been quite some time since I've uploaded a video. I think it was, I can't remember, October or something, right? So a lot has happened since then. As you can see, my hair has grown quite a bit already again. I went to the barber like two or three times already, so my hair grows really fast, and it's quite a different look since my last video. I hope you can notice that. So what have I been up to? After the video I uploaded from in Cyprus, I went back to Budapest. I spent some time there with my friends and renovating the flat that I am living in, even though I don't do that many things because I don't know too much about renovation, but I'm trying to learn and look and see how things are going. But mostly my friend is doing all the hard work, but still I try to support him as much as I can. And then after that I made the decision to come to India to take a yoga teacher training here in Varkala. It's a small beach town in the Kerala state in the south of India, and I got here through an invitation from the yoga teacher that I lived with in Mexico. As some of you might remember, I stayed in Mexico with the yoga teacher. I recorded a few videos in his house actually talking about my Vipassana experiences, and so I decided to come here and take the course. And it's a 1-month course, a 200-hour TTC, and basically you practice a lot of yoga, meditation, pranayama, anatomy, yoga philosophy, all these things. And then after 1 month you take an exam, a test, you give a class also, and then you get the certification, the 200-hour certification. And I actually finished the course and I got certified, so now I have a 200-hour TTC under my belt, and I'm really happy with that progress because it's kind of the start of a journey that will lead me deeper into yoga and everything that has to do with that. I would love to teach yoga. I'm actually already teaching yoga here at another school in Varkala that I decided to go to after my TTC finished. So I met a few teachers during my course, and they also teach in other schools, and one of the schools is one that I felt like very connected to somehow. It has a really nice energy, very kind people. The owners are really friendly and welcoming, and they have this, like, I don't know, like spiritually well-intended attitude. And so I kind of really resonate with that. So I decided to join some of the teachers to the new school and then stay here basically until now, which is almost, I mean, how long am I here now? Two months and a few days. I arrived in India 27th of November, and now it's the 4th or the 5th of February or something like that. So it's almost, yeah, two months and a few weeks. So I practice yoga every single day. I take 2 asana classes each day. Asana are the posture, so the movement. Everything we consider in the West as yoga is what they consider here as asanas. So it's a small part of yoga actually. So the moving part, the movement, the postures is just a small part of what yoga is in its totality. And yoga is way bigger than just, you know, keeping the body fit. And that's exactly what I've been learning here by spending so much time being immersed in this yogic culture, in this yogic philosophy. And so I would love to share that experience that knowledge with you guys and with everyone I meet from now onwards. And I would love to teach asana classes. I would love to teach meditation classes, maybe some pranayama. Pranayama is basically breathing techniques, so there's tons of different breathing techniques, and once you learn to stabilize and control your breath, you can also enhance your mental fitness and the stability of your mind. You can use it to really enhance your well-being and your peace. These breathing techniques, you can use them for those purposes, and you can use them to go into really deep states of meditation. And it's something that I wasn't aware of. I didn't know anything about pranayama before I came here. Basically, I had one kind of pranayama workshop once at Ozora Festival, but I didn't understand what it was. I had some judgment. I was like, what are these stupid breathing techniques? I don't understand. They're doing nothing to me or for me. But since I'm here and I practice pranayama consistently with a great teacher, I totally changed my attitude and, how would I say, my attitude towards pranayama. Now I understand it has tremendous potential and it's a super, super powerful part of yoga that I also want to explore more in depth for myself. It can create these really profound states of meditation, these calming effects. It's balancing the energies in our bodies. So for example, the left nostril is moon energy. It's a cooling energy. So when we inhale and exhale in our left nostril, we are actually balancing our moon energy. It's more like the feminine side. And then when we go right, we inhale and exhale sun energy, which is more fire, which is more masculine, which is more doing energy. And so you can balance these energies through breathing in different ways, and it's really profound. Like once you get into it and you allow yourself to absorb and observe the sensations that are being created in your body and in your mind, it's very profound, very deep. So I am thoroughly enjoying my time here in India. It has been a really profound personal transformation for me. I will share a little bit about how I went from feeling very, how would I say, almost anxious because I was feeling the need to hold on to my workout routine. You know, I wanted to keep going to the gym and maintain some kind of strength in my body, but I was practicing yoga so much, so I kind of felt tired and I felt anxious about not being consistent with my routine that I was maintaining during all my life, basically. And so one day I felt extremely anxious because I really wanted to go to the gym, but I decided to take a moment to tune in with myself and feel whether I really needed to go there. And the answer immediately came to me, and it said, no, you don't. You really don't. And it was a very important moment for me to, again, voluntarily decide to not give in to this compulsion, this anxiety. And then afterwards I talked to one of the teachers, and I had a conversation with him about the fact that I felt so anxious and compulsive in my routine to maintain a certain strength, a certain body composition, a certain image in my mind, right? And he was sharing with me that if it's compulsive, then it's probably not the right thing for you to do, right? Going to the gym, moving your body, maintaining a healthy physique, it's not a bad thing. You know, if you enjoy doing that, then by all means go ahead and do that. But if it's compulsive, then it's probably better for you to work on that, to let go of the compulsion, to make a free choice, to have a free choice, right? And that really resonated with me, this idea of being free from your own mind. And so that in that moment I decided, okay, I actually don't need to go to the gym. I can let go of my body, and I can let go of this desire to maintain some kind of structure in my mind of how things are supposed to be, and I can just allow things to flow naturally, right? And from that moment onwards, I actually didn't go to the gym. I haven't lifted a single dumbbell in the past 2.5 months. And it has been a very freeing experience for me to let go of that, right? So on top of that, the food they serve in the center, it's purely vegetarian. So you eat only vegetables and curry and rice and these kinds of foods, and they taste fantastic, by the way. The food here in India is so good, guys, like crazy good, like really, I love it, and it's so cheap. It's ridiculously cheap. So the food is amazing. However, there is not really a lot of eggs or dairy or even meat, or none of these things that I would consider important to maintain a certain physique, right? I was lifting weights and working out, and I needed to get in my protein. You know, that was in my mind, oh, I need protein, I need protein. And so the food was also kind of difficult for me to surrender to, because I was always in my mind, oh, I need the eggs, I need the chicken, I need to maintain some kind of source of protein because I'm gonna lose my muscle mass, I'm gonna lose my strength, and I'm gonna look terrible. That was a fear that I had. But so once I made a decision to kind of surrender to the process, then I could fully commit to just letting go and having the food and eating this vegetarian food, which, by the way, made me feel amazing, right? I was eating this food and it nourished my body. I felt light afterwards. I didn't feel heavy or bloated or, you know, uncomfortable, which I felt very often after eating food that I'm used to eating, right? Like, I don't know, heavy stews with meat or potatoes or lots of oils or these kind of things. They make you feel heavy and bloated, and I wasn't really aware of that until I kind of took a step away from that and I committed to eating the diet, the food that they were serving, right? There is a reason why most spiritual people or most yogis or most people who are committed to a balanced life eat a lot of vegetarian food, and maybe they're not completely vegan or not super, you know, once it becomes compulsive again or too rigid, then it's not healthy. But most of these people naturally gravitate towards a more plant-based diet because it feels great. And I'm not a nutritionist, and I'm not claiming that this diet is more healthy than another diet. I am of the opinion, or I'm convinced, that a balanced diet is the best diet, right? Feel into what you resonate with, what makes your body feel good, what makes you feel nourished, and then eat that food, right? And so now I had the opportunity to experience that without this fear of having to hold on to this body that I was so attached to, right? And so I allowed things to happen naturally, and honestly, I feel really good, and my body changed, but in a good way, right? If you take care of your body, if you take care of your mind, if you nourish yourself with the good foods, the good movement, the good mental fitness, then your body automatically looks healthy. And that has been a really important part of my current journey here, to kind of let go of this rigid idea in my mind that I have to maintain a certain amount of strength, a certain amount of muscle mass, and I have to eat a certain way, I have to train a certain way. And letting that go has been really healing for me, because now I feel this new sense of freedom that I can go anywhere I want and not worry about what food they're gonna serve there, not worry about whether or not there's gonna be a gym there or whether or not I will be able to lift weights. This is no longer an issue, because I can go and trust the fact that my body will tell me what it needs. I can bring my mat, I can go onto my mat and practice yoga and feel good, feel healthy, feel strong, right? There is so many different types of yoga that I'm learning here. You have yoga nidra, you have karma yoga, you have bikram yoga, you have rocket yoga, you have hatha yoga, you have ashtanga yoga, vinyasa flow, so many different styles, right? And so for everything there is a style. You can do restorative yoga, where you're kind of like resting into the postures and allowing yourself to rejuvenate, and then there is power yoga like ashtanga, which is very strong, very intense. I love this style. Obviously it's really powerful and intense, and it makes you feel fit and, you know, like capable. It's super nice to feel more capable in your own body, like these postures, doing handstands, like flipping, turning, balancing, like so many different ways to use your body. And it's super, super cool for me to learn to use my body in a totally different way, right? Because I was so stuck on this lifting weights, squats, deadlifts, bench press, pull-ups, like this classical weightlifting exercises, and my body was so tight, so compressed, so not flexible. And by practicing so much yoga here now, it feels so much more light, so much more open, so much less tension, right? And there is so much tension stored in my hips, for example, which I am slowly working on releasing. Every day I release it a little bit more. And it's honestly such a great feeling to release, to literally release the tension from your body. It's a very healing experience, and it's a very emotionally profound experience too. There is so much emotion stored in the body, and anger particularly is stored in the hips. And so when I'm working on opening the hips, I can feel this anger like being released, like so much anger that is coming up. And by breathing through it, you can really let it go and loosen up this anger, like process it, integrate it, and give it its place, release it, release the tension from your body, from your mind, and you feel so much more open, so much more loose, so much more relaxed. And it's a wonderfully profound experience, and I hope that I can inspire more people to commit to some kind of healing practices that they can use to feel more balanced, to feel more at home within our bodies, right? Because so many people, we struggle with feeling at ease, with feeling comfortable within ourselves. So much anxiety and worry and thoughts, and maybe sadness or anger or frustration or tension, right? And it causes us to suffer. And suffering is not necessarily a bad thing, right? It can teach us many things. It can give us wonderfully important and profound insights. It can allow us to feel deeply grateful for when the suffering kind of gets lifted by somebody, or an experience that is soothing us, or you know, the ups and downs, they are necessary, right? But to add more tension, to add more frustration when it's actually not needed, I think it can be great if you or just anyone can incorporate some practices that can release this tension. And you have to find for yourself what these things are, right? I'm not saying that it has to be yoga for you. However, I think that a yogic approach can be very productive, and it can be very healing and profoundly transformative to go down this path. But the most important part here is that it's kind of consistent. If you just practice like once a week, once a month, once every 2 weeks, you will not get the real benefit. It's when you commit to some kind of daily healing practice that it becomes, the effects kind of compound, and they keep building onto each other, and the momentum gets going, and then you really start to feel the effects of your practice, right? And it's with anything. If you want to learn a new skill, or you want to do anything in life, committing to some kind of regular schedule is going to help you to really build the momentum. And again, you have to be aware that it doesn't become compulsive, right? And this is definitely something that I have to be very aware of, that I don't get into this compulsive loop of, okay, now I have to do all these practices every single day, otherwise I don't feel good. No, you keep listening to your intuition, hearing what practice do I need today, and then give yourself the time to work with that, right? Sometimes I need a very intense power yoga session. Sometimes I need a more soft, careful, gentle approach, right? Sometimes I just need some meditation. Sometimes I just need to be, you know, just go to the beach. I just jumped into the sea before I recorded this video. The weather is fantastic. The sea is incredible, guys. The temperature is so good. So sometimes we just need to be, and listening to ourselves, being in touch with what we need, really what we need, and then giving ourselves that. This is such a wonderful practice, and it requires humility, it requires surrender, it requires courage to trust ourselves, to trust our intuition. And this has been, I think, the most important topic for me these past months, to surrender to what I need and to really give myself what I need. If I'm tired, I rest. If I want to move, I move. If I crave food, certain foods, I give myself I allow myself to eat these foods, right? And like I said earlier, the food here in India, it's it's so good, guys. Like, it's so good. You have so many different varieties of curries, you have so many different types of vegetables. The fruits here are super tasty, and everything is so cheap. Like, it's ridiculously cheap. I don't know how they do it, but probably because they grow it here and it's not imported, so they have their own production here, so that kind of keeps it like less expensive, I guess. But this is really something that I like, because I can go out and eat all these different foods and not worry necessarily about spending too much money. And you know, it's just like I can go out and eat and not feel like I lost a whole fortune or anything like that, right? So if I go eat Indian in Belgium, it's like 10 times the price, right? Of course, it is like that when you eat a specific cuisine in different countries, usually way more expensive. But anyways, this has been my experience, and I love the fact that everything is super cheap here, and they're very like generous in their energy. And what I noticed here is that people really live in this kind of like karmic, they have a kind of like a karmic attitude, right? If I go out and eat at a restaurant and I forgot to bring my wallet, or I don't have cash or whatever, I can just let the owner know, like, hey, I'm sorry, I don't have enough money right now, I'll come back and pay you tomorrow. And they're like, yeah, no problem, see you tomorrow. They have this like faith, this trust that people speak the truth, and that things will come back to them. If they give out good energy, they will receive the good energy. And that has been like so interesting to me to feel that, to experience that, because it's so different in Europe, right? It's so much more capitalistic, and like, you know, if you're finished with your food, like, go out, or like fast-paced, productive, it needs to be efficient, it needs to make money, like these kinds of things. And here it's way less about that. It's way more about, you know, the kindness, the compassion, the acceptance, the surrender, the humility. And it has been a very, how would I say, like, eye-opening experience for me to be here, to be surrounded by this kind of kindness, this compassionate trust in one another. There is no like competition, or there is no harsh energy. It's more like, yeah, sure, no problem, everything is shanti and okay, and we can come back tomorrow or another time, or never come back, right? If that is what you want to do, then that is what you should do. And I don't have bad intentions towards you because of that. And this is like such a great experience to see that these people are like that, and it makes you, at least me, kind of very at ease, very comfortable. Anywhere I go, I feel welcome, they're friendly, and it's a nice sensation to have this kind of trust, you know, because you are good, people are good, right? We don't want to lie, we don't want to cheat, we don't want to hurt, we want to be good. You are good, we are good, right? And once there is an environment that allows for that to naturally happen, people are like that. And that has been so far my experience, because I haven't traveled around India. Today is actually my last day in Varkala, and I'm going to move more north, because now I'm southwest. So I'm gonna go up to Munnar and Kodaikanal and Bangalore, and go up towards the north, and then do a visa run in Nepal, and come back to India and spend some time in Rishikesh. It's in the north. So I haven't seen much of India yet. I was in Varkala all the time because I was really focused on this practice, on developing my skills and developing my knowledge and improving my personal experience here in this yogic setting, right? I really wanted to commit to a practice, to learn as much as I can, and to stick to a consistent approach to my learning, right? And I've I've learned so much during these 2 months. I opened up so much my body. My body is so much more flexible. I feel strong. I feel good. You know, I feel really, really good. And now it's the time for me to move on and to travel and to explore more of India. And I must admit that I feel a little bit nervous and anxious about this, because it's like a next level of freedom for me, because now I no longer have this attachment to having to figure out a way to get to the gym and to hold on to this food and everything. No, it's more like totally free now, and I'm kind of a little bit afraid of this total freedom. I can go wherever I want and do whatever I want. And here in this place, it's still a little bit, you know, there is a container. I have a nice room. I can go to the asana classes twice per day. I can go to meditation class. The food is being provided in the school, which is absolutely fantastic, by the way. Ayurvedic, super healthy, light, good digestible food. It's so good. And so leaving that behind and exploring this total freedom for myself, it feels a little bit strange in a way. Even though I've been doing this for a long time, still it kind of feels as if I am now going to explore a new level of freedom for myself, which is quite scary, I must admit. So that is what is next for me in these coming weeks. It has been a really, really, really nice experience so far. I'm super grateful to be able to do this, to be here in the sunshine, to practice yoga every day, to be surrounded by so many beautiful people. And I want to share that gratitude and appreciation with you, right? I want to offer you my experiences, and hopefully you can learn something from the things that I learned, and it can inspire you to try out new things, or to commit to some kind of healing practice, or to learn more about yoga, or whatever, learn more about India. I don't know, I just want to share this good, grateful energy with each and every one of you, and I hope that you are good wherever you are in the world. I hope that you feel peaceful, that you feel calm, content, balanced, that everybody that you love around you is healthy, and that you are healthy too. And if there is any health issues going around in your direct environment, I am sending lots of healing energy, and I hope that everybody gets well very, very soon. I am sure that you being in their lives definitely makes a difference, and I hope to maybe come across some of you at some point and teach some yoga. I am currently teaching some yoga classes here already. I teach 1 day a week, and it's honestly so nice. Like, I love to teach a yoga class. It's like a gift. It's really like a gift that I can give to the people who show up to my class, and I really enjoy going into the postures and explaining the things that we are doing, guiding everybody through the movement, through the breath, through the mindfulness practices. It's a wonderful thing, and I'm super excited about this, because it's something that I can take with me anywhere. This skill set, I can bring it with me anywhere, and I can go to a hostel or something and ask people if I can stay for free, and then in exchange give some yoga classes, or I can teach in some retreats, or I can teach in the communities. There's endless opportunities, and I'm honestly so excited about this, because again, it's this new stage of freedom for me that I would love to explore more in depth, and that I'm super, super enthusiastic about, very curious, very, I don't know, I feel really great about this. So I'll spend probably a few more months here in India before I go back to Europe, and then once I'm back in Europe, I want to start looking for spots and places that I can teach some yoga classes, and then we'll take it from there. Maybe I open my own studio, maybe, I don't know, we'll see. The world is your oyster, right? And you can try out new things and explore whatever you feel drawn to, and then listen to that. If you have some kind of hunch, some intuition, some interest, just follow that and see where it leads you. And it might lead you to places that you're actually supposed to go, right? And this is how I believe we all have a potential that craves to be manifested, that wants to be like a beautiful flower, you know. You just, the seed is there, and you have to nourish it with the right foods, the right environment, the right energy and attention, and then it blooms into its most beautiful flower, the most beautiful potential. And we all have this, and we just need to take care of ourselves in the proper ways and listen to what we need, and then give ourselves that, satisfy our own needs, and not in a desire, craving, compulsive kind of way, but more in a nourishing, gentle, generous, compassionate way, where we are really tuning in with ourselves and just loving our being. And through that we can also share that with others. We can share that compassion, that love, that kindness that we cultivate within ourselves, and share it with others, and then we all lift each other up. And I think that this is a very beautiful part of the yogic philosophy that I really want to embody in my own life, and I'm actively working on making that a reality. So that is, I guess, all I wanted to say today. I really want to thank you for your attention. I am super grateful that you decided to show up today and hear me speak about what I'm currently up to. If there is anything you would like to share with me in the comments, please do so. I would love to read how you're doing, and if there is anything I can do for you, or maybe, I don't know, just some words of encouragement or anything you need that is within my power to give you, I would like to share that with you. Alright guys, so thank you so much for being here with me, and as always, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care guys. Shanti Shanti, Namaste. Until next time.